Alright, welcome back. So last time we talked about polymorphism and inheritance. And today we're going to be talking about using several types of objects that are created for you by Java. So last time we created our own objects. We created an animal object, we created a monkey, a snail, and a tiger, and not a tiger, a cheetah. We get my point. We create our own objects, okay? We use inheritance to also mimic how inheritance works. And how polymorphism works by our example. But now we're going to go back and actually look at objects that are created by the Java library. So we can actually use objects that are already created for us. We don't have to create our own, okay? So these are two objects we're going to talk about today. They are the so we have the scanner object, okay, and we have the random object. We're going to work with both today. So we're actually going to create a guessing game using both. So scanner object is used to allow the user to input values that from the console. Okay, so it allows the user to actually input stuff. So we do system.out to print stuff out, right? But now we can do system.in to allow stuff to go into the program from our point of view, from the user point of view. So we can create like a guessing game using it, okay? And we also need a random object, which is used to generate a random number, okay? So if you look at the random documentation for this object, we really only care about one specific function, okay, which is next int. All right, so let's control that. Okay, so, oh my God, come on. There it is. So the next int returns a number between 0 inclusive and the specified value exclusive. So what that means is we want to generate a number between 1 to 10. We pass in 10 as the bound, so our parameter for the value for the parameter we pass in 10. Then we'll get 0 to 9. So if you end up wanting numbers like 10 to show up randomly, we won't. So to do that, we actually have to add 1 to the bounds. For example, you do next int 10 plus 1, so really the bound is 11. So if you want numbers between 1 to 10, you do 10 plus 1. You just pass an 11 here, or you just do 10 plus 1 to basically shift it by 1, because it starts at 0. So you want to start at 1, so you move it to the right 1, and then the maximum number instead of 10 will be 11, but it's exclusive, so then it's just 1 to 10, okay? So it's kind of confusing. It's very common if people make this error when it's first start coding using random objects, that they make the mistake, the off by 1 error, because the upper bound is exclusive, okay? So these are two objects that we'll be working on with today. And let's go ahead and create a class called guessing game, because that's going to be what we're going to do today. We're going to create a guessing game, okay? Now let's create our main method, all right? And let's start with the scanner object first, okay? So let's create a scanner object. We'll call it scanner, SC. But first, one thing I want to note is to auto-import stuff in Java, you just do option return, okay? That's the default for IntelliJ, and automatically imports that for you. See, on line 1, it automatically imported a scanner object for me. And I can call it. I'm gonna call it SC. Okay, you can call it scanner, but I'm gonna call it SC for short. And I'm gonna use the constructor to create a new scanner object. But then I'm gonna pass in system.in because it requires a parameter. It requires an input stream source or a readable source. So there's many ways to create a scanner, but the easiest way is to pass in system.in, okay, and it's input stream. So all the data is basically a stream of data coming in. So it's gonna come from the console, okay. So let's go ahead and just print stuff out and see if we get the value. So let's say int input, okay, equals 0, and we say SC. Sorry, my bad. I meant. Let me think here. So that's what we're doing. This is. Yeah, let's just do this. So next int is to get the next integer, okay? So let's just go ahead and say value of input is, right, plus input, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and try inputting something from our console. So let's go ahead and run this. All right. Let's run this. And you actually input something. As you can see, like this thing pops up and it keeps flickering on and off. It means that it's input. So let's input 10. Okay, now it's saying the value of the input is 10. All right, so now we actually inputted something. So now let's change it to a double, okay? And just show you that. So for double, you do next double. So for int, you do next int. So let's go ahead and run this again to show you that we can actually input data that's also a decimal, not just a integer. All right. So 5.5, and we get the value 5.5. And then for string, it's not next string. It's actually next line. Okay. And now make it a string. And okay. Let's see what happens. This is pretty useful when you first start coding in Java, because you want to be able to have user interaction with your program, right? So in this example, we're actually going to interact with the program and allow the user to enter a number, an integer, and guess the number between, let's say, 1 to 10 or 1 to 50 or whatever. So they can keep guessing until they get it right. All right, so enter, this is a string. Okay, spell. Okay, so as you can see, the value again is printed out correctly. So we're actually storing the value what we actually input. So we're storing in a variable, which is pretty powerful. All right, so that's how scanners work. Okay, now let's talk about randoms now. All right, so let's actually create a random object up top. All right, because you only want to create it once. So let's go ahead and just want to use it in the, let's make it final. The reason why I'm making it final is because you only want to create it once. You don't want people to reassign this variable. So you can't say, for example, rand equals new rand again, because it's final, so it can't be reassigned. So this left-hand side can't be assigned a new value, okay? So, because it's final. All right, we'll make it private because we're only using this class. We'll make it static so we can use it here. So for example, if you try to create a random number first, so int random number equals rand.nextInt. Make this non-static. Now we can't use it anymore because we're using a static function. So that's why we're making it static, okay? All right. Let's actually pass in 10 here. And actually, you know what? Let's actually make a loop out of this, okay? Oops, too fast. All right, so for int I equals 1, I is less than or equal to 100, I plus plus, let's print out a random number 100 times. All right. And let's print out a random number. Okay, so you'll see something, like I said, that the upper bound is exclusive, so we'll never print 10. We'll print 0 to 9. So we want a random number between 1 and 10, right? We're actually going to get zeros, which we don't want, so we get zeros here. We get 1s, which is good. We get 2s, we get 3s, we get 4s, we get 5s, we get 6s, we get 7s, we get 8s, we even get 9s. So, but we don't get 10s. We don't get. We also get zeros. So we want 1 to 10. We're never getting 0 to 9. So what we can do is we can do plus 1. Okay. All right. Let's run this again, and now we won't get any zeros. We'll actually get 10s because we're shifting the bound up 1, and we're also shifting the minimum value up 1. So there'll be no more zeros. See, there's no zeros by themselves. Well, actually, yeah, all the zeros are part of the 10, right? So we actually get 10s now. Okay, and there's a 0 up here for the exit code. but we're printing out only 1 to 10, any number between 1 to 10. So we're generating a random number between 1 to 10, not 0 to 9, because we did plus 1 here. But what if we want negative values, okay? Then how does that work? Okay, we want to print out, let's say, between negative 100 and 100, okay? So what we can do here is we can actually, or let's do negative 10 to 10, make it easier to see, okay? So let's print 1,000 values, okay? 1 to 1,000, let's do 1,000 different random numbers. And let's do, so instead of having a bound here, well, it's still gonna be a bound, but the formula is this, okay? It's maximum minus minimum, okay? Plus 1. Oops. Minus minimum, and this will actually get you your range from your minimum to your maximum, even for negative numbers, okay? So if you want to do from negative 10 to 10, so we pass in 10 minus negative 10, so in other words 10 plus 10, okay, plus negative 10. Minus negative 10, okay? This is confusing, so we're actually just gonna try it first and show you that it works. So let's actually pass in a minimum and maximum here. So int min equals negative 10, all right, and then oops, double equals, whoa, what's going on here? And then max equals 10. You actually can assign two variables in the same line. It's actually not recommended. I'm just showing you. I don't like this because it can get sloppy. Some people just have like a huge line of declared variables, and I think it's cleaner to put it in different lines. Okay. So anyway, so we do maximum minus minimum, and we do plus 1. All right, and then we do minus min. Okay. So first, let's just pass in. Let's do 1,000, right? So let's do 1,000 generated numbers. Okay. And let's see if we get all the numbers between negative 10 and 10, and we should, because something's wrong here. We're getting okay. Let's see what's wrong here. Max minus min. Oh, sorry, I meant plus min. My bad. Wow. Okay, so we're adding the min. We actually have to subtract the min. That's a huge programming error. So, I mean, it happens. So, it's actually a tough formula to memorize. That's why. But as now you can see that we get negative 10 to 10, right? So the formula is actually maximum minus minimum plus 1 plus minimum. So, for example, we do 10 minus 10, which is 20, right? Plus 1, which is 21, plus negative 10, which is 11. So we basically have 11, which is the same thing as like ram number equals rand.next 10, right, plus 1. So we get 11, but this allows us to have negative numbers, okay? It still works, okay? So now our range is negative 10 to positive 10, and it includes 0 too. So let's go ahead and see if we get all the numbers. Negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, that's 2, 3. So as you've seen, positive 3 is a couple of them. 4, I see positive 4 right here and here. 5. Okay, I see some positive 5, 6, 7, 8. I see positive 8, 9. I see positive 9 and 10. Oops. I see positive 10 right here. So let's try 11. Well, JDK 11. There's no extra 11 printed out. 12. So the maximum is 10, as you can see, and we can't do negative 11 because there is no negative 11 here, right? So we don't see any yellow highlighted for any of these numbers printed out. So this actually worked, right? So we got numbers between negative 10 and 10. We got our min and max. This is the range. That's pretty cool, right? So now we know how to use the scanner object, and now we know how to use the random object. So let's go ahead and create a guessing game, all right? So let's get started. This is the fun part, okay. So let's go ahead and let's keep this, because it's actually what we're gonna need. We're gonna need this, okay? Oops. We're actually going to create it in a function. Let's just keep this. It's important. Okay, so we'll actually keep this also. All right, so let's call this function guessing game. Okay. We'll have our min. We'll have our max, and we'll also have max try. So this is how many tries they can try before they lose, because if you have unlimited number of tries, they'll eventually win. So we want them to be able to lose also, right? So let's go ahead and start. So let's go ahead and create our random number first. Let's go ahead and move this here. Okay. And now we have a random number. So this is going to be like the winning number, the correct number to guess. Okay. Then let's go ahead and create our scanner object. So we'll do scanner sc equals new scanner, then system.in, and we can actually go ahead and make this a global variable too, because it should only be created once. Alright, this is good coding practice, so these should only be created once, okay? Even though they'll only be used inside one function, right? If you had a class where you have to use it multiple times in a function, this is why you would make it like global, because you only want to use it, create it once. So when you create it, it'll be stored in memory, it'll reference to memory, and it will never try to recreate it and use more memory wastefully. Okay, so you want to create this object only once. Alright, so let's go back to this. So we have our scanner object, and we're going to say our guess equals min minus 1, because now let's say our range is negative 10 to 10. Our min is going to be, our guess is going to be negative 11. So basically, when we start this loop to let them guess, our starting number, our starting number can't be the correct number. Okay, because we want to be able to guess. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our loop. So we have a do and we have a while. Okay, so in our do, we're going to let them guess a number. So we're going to say guess equals sc.nextInt. Okay, and then we're going to say while guess is not equal to a random number, keep guessing. Okay, but then we also want to stop when they have so this is when we have like the max number of tries exceeded. We want to say that, okay, you failed, you lost the game. So we're going to actually keep track of how many times they tried. So int tries equals 1. We'll start at 1, and then well, actually, sorry, should we start at 1 or 0? Let's think about this. So if we do yeah. Okay, let's start at 0. Either way it works, because depending on what your if statement is. Okay. So now let's see, if guess equals random number, let's go ahead and say you have guessed the right number plus random number on your this is why I want to start at 1, because now I have to say on your whatever try. So basically we're going to print out they guessed the right number if they guessed it and what try they were on. Were they on first try, second try, third try, and so forth. So let's go ahead and do tries plus plus up here. Okay, so now if they guessed the first time correctly, you can say that they guessed the right number on their first try, okay, or one try, because we can't really do, you know, first like ST or second, cause like first, second, third, they always end in different ending, right, suffix. So I'm just gonna print out their try, okay. So now we say else, all right. Wrong number, guess again. All right, and you can say you have max tries. Let's do this. Equals number of tries, or max tries, minus tries. So I mean, that's how many tries you have left, right? So you have a print line statement to signify how many tries you have left, okay? So we're saying you have whatever number of tries is left plus left. So you have, like, for example, 3 tries left, for example, okay? And finally, you have to be able to break if their number of tries is greater than the number of max tries. So if number of tries left, oh shit, okay, let's do this. If number of tries left equals 0, right, you can say you're out of luck. And we can say the correct number was, and then plus random number. Okay. And finally, we have to break. So what break does is it breaks out of this do while loop and then doesn't allow them to enter a number again. So it breaks out this logic. It just skips past this do while loop and goes to line 39, basically the end of the function. Okay. So let's see if this works. Before we do that, let's go through logic. So first we start with our random number, okay, which is going to be from the min to the max. That's the range. We say, well, actually this is actually redundant, it's saying, perfect, so I thought, don't really need this, okay, cool. So this is going to be, this is your variable to store what the user guessed, okay. We said int tries equals 0. And the reason why we initialize this on top here is we don't want to create a guess variable each time, which we're doing here, which is actually not good. So if we actually want to move this out to the top here and say equals -1, okay. So that way we can, so that basically we're making -1 because you can't have negative number of tries left. So actually, again, it's redundant, which is nice. Okay, that's cool. All right, that's fine. So we have number of tries, okay, left, and if equals 0, then they're out of luck, and we break, right? Or if they get the number right, we print out that number, okay? So basically, while the guess not equal a random number, while their guess is not correct, we keep going through this loop. Unless the number of tries left equals 0, then we break out. That's the logic, okay? So let's go ahead and pass in this function here. So let's do min, max, and let's just create another variable here, int max tries equals 3. So I'm going to give them 3 tries. It's actually pretty harsh, but we'll see. We'll try A. So they have 3 tries to get a number in a range that's size 21, negative 10 to 10, right? Negative 10 to 10, including 0 is 21 numbers. So they have a 3 out of 21 shot getting it right. Well, actually, probability-wise, it's 1 out of 21 times 1 out of 20 times 1 in 19. So it's actually not that. It's not really 3 out of 21 chance at all. But either way, it's a low number. Okay. If the range is like 1 to 5, then they have a very high chance of getting it. So let's start with an easier range. Okay. So let's go ahead and start this up. Oh, one more thing we forgot is let's just tell them their like how many tries they have left. Oh, we did that already. I'm sorry. Let's tell them like their range of numbers they guess for. Okay, so before we start a loop, we can say, "Welcome to the guessing game. Good luck." Or we can say, "Oops." We can say, "Guess a number between plus min and plus max." Okay, so now they know what to guess, like which range to guess in. Okay, so in this case it's 1 to 5. They know to guess between 1 to 5. Okay, let's see if this works. All right, so 3. Wow, look at that! I got on the first try, and there's a little spacing issue here. Okay, so we just do this. Okay, let's try it one more time. Just make sure it works. Okay, let's try. Hopefully we'll get one wrong and see if it's wrong or not. But this range is so small that, let's see, 1. Wow, I'm so good at this. What can I say? I got it right again. Let's try 5. Okay, there we go. Yep. Okay, there's some issues with the format here. There's an extra dot you don't need, and then you have a space here. Okay, perfect. Let's try it again. 3. Okay, I got it on my second try. All right, so this is working, right? This is working beautifully, actually. So now the only thing we gotta test now is getting it wrong. So we test our break. So the only way to get it wrong is to have number of tries left equal to 0. So basically run out of tries. So let's go ahead and make the range really big now to make sure we get it wrong. So let's do 1, or let's do negative 10 to 10. Okay. We'll probably get it wrong this time. There's a chance though. You have 3 tries. Okay, so let's try negative 5, negative 4, and 5. There we go. Everything works beautifully, right? So first we have 3 tries, and we try our first and number with negative 5, and it's wrong. We try again. You have 2 tries left, and we try negative 4, and then we're wrong again. You have 1 try left. We try 5. It's very close. It says you have 0 tries left. You're out of luck. The correct number is 4. So actually we were very close, but this is actually working the way we want it to. So let's go through the logic one more time. So we have our random number generated between the range of, in this case, negative 10 to 10. So there's 21 possible numbers. Okay. Our variable guess. This is your variable to store what the user guessed. Or tries, keep track of how many tries we've had, right? And every time we have a try, we increment by 1. So plus increments tries by 1. And number of tries left, so that when number of tries left equals 0, we print out we're out of luck, and we break out of the game so that they can't play anymore. Okay, we break out of this loop. All right, and but first, if the number is correct, right, we print out they have guessed the right number under nth number try, with first, second, third, whatever, right? And then else number of tries left equals max tries minus tries. So if they don't get the right number right, we just print this stuff out, right? We say how many tries they have left and tell them that they got the wrong number. And then if they do get it correctly, again, we basically exit out the game because guess equals random number, because this while statement is false until this is this while statement runs until this is actually false, as in like guess equals random number. Okay, let's play it one more time, and I'm gonna try with 10 tries this time. So I have a pretty good chance of getting it. If I don't get this, it will be bad luck. Okay, so let's try -5. Wow, look at that. First try, only 10 tries, only one try. But if we try, like, for example, try again, I'm probably not going to get my first try. I'll probably lose. Okay, so 10, 8, 7, 6, I'm just 1, -3, -5, -2. Oh, we have an error here. Look at that. Exception in thread main Java util input mismatch exception. What it's saying is it expected a integer and I put an equals to, so it's not expecting bad input. So again, let's assume that the input is correct. Okay, so we're not going to deal with bad input. So that's like for a future lesson, how to handle bad input. Right now it's kind of complicated, so let's just stick with pretending the user always puts a number between -10 and 10, which I didn't do. Okay, so let's try one more time. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 10. Ah, -5. I tried all the positive numbers. Okay, but as you can see, it's still pretty tough, right? Because you have less than 50% chance of getting this. All right. So, oh well, I lost, but at least hopefully you understand that random object is used to create a random number, and a scanner object is used to create input, so allow the user to input data or input values that are stored in our program, right? Using like next int or next long or next line or next double and so forth. So this is just a nice game or a fun game to play around with objects in Java, okay? Alright, so that's basically for this lesson.